So Bert recorded this version of Weeping Willow Blues for his 1967 album, Nicola, using his new John Bailey 12-string guitar. I think he got the arrangement from Whiz Jones. It's distinctively different from Blind Boy Fuller's, but very close to the version Whiz recorded the previous year on his debut album with Pete Stanley. I'll be looking at Whiz's version in another lesson, his original and also the way he's played it more recently. But for now, we're on 12-string guitar. I will be playing it through on a 6-string at the end of this lesson just to show you how it works on a 6-string. So we've got capo 4, standard tuning. It's slightly flat from this on the original recording, but we'll go with 4. It was quite common to tune 12 strings down slightly in those days, so I'm guessing he was on 4, maybe even on 5. But this is going to be the closest in concert tuning to the original recording. So he starts with a kind of slow intro with an E blues scale riff. That's although we're in the key of A eventually, but he's starting with this. Okay, then we're into an E7 chord, and then into a D7 over an F sharp, a kind of F chord with a G on the top, and then a little pentatonic lick, and the E7 chord again. So let me go through that in a bit more detail. The count, as I've got it notated here on the tab, is starting on just after beat 1. 1. Meaning there's an extra 2/4 bar of that little strum, extra strum on the E7. Okay. Standard E7 chord. Then up on the thumb to the 2nd fret of the 6th string. Normal D7 chord. And then this sort of rather weird kind of F chord. There's no D in it at this point. It's kind of representing, I think, the D7 later in the tune. Sorry, the D minor 7. But there's no D at this point in this chord. Obviously you can strum the whole thing if you want. All the strings fit the chord. Back to an A. And then we get this classic blues scale lick. Alright, the whole thing at tempo is something like this. Okay, then we're into the opening 12-bar instrumental verse, which works like this. And now we're up to tempo, we're up to about 120. So we've got 6ths here on the 4th and 2nd strings, sliding up, open strings, a passing 6th string note to land on these 2 strings on beat 3. And then picking that 4th string in between, and then beat 4 is a kind of a strum like that. It's not very distinctively picked, I don't think. The main part is that's what you want to get under your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of thing. Now the second bar. This is only in the intro where he doesn't play the D minor chord on beat 2. So for the intro, he's playing this variation of the A with a C on the 2nd string. So it's more like an A minor and back to the A. Open strings and a kind of strum there, go on beat 4. So let me play those 2 bars together. they go through twice. Those 2 bars go twice. Then we're into the D minor, and there's an A on the last eighth of that 4th bar to lead into the D minor like this. Usually when you're practicing these things, it's good to take it bar by bar, get each bar working, and then link it to the next one, and so you're working in pairs of bars steadily linked together. So now we're going to connect the 4th bar to the 5th bar. 5th string, and then 1 and 2 on beat 1 of bar 5. And we've got a D minor chord here. And a very quick hammer on both those 2 strings on beat 3. In fact, use a little finger here because you're going to need the 3rd finger here on the 4th string. A bass note there, thumb stroke on that 3. And these strings can be left ringing, they're not damped. And then back to the A chord. Alright, those previous 2 bars. And then we're into the E chord with a little, he hits this C on beat 4 of that last bar of the A there. Leading into the A like that with the E bass anticipating, so it's a syncopated beat 1 there. And the chord is on beat 1 like that, and 1, and 1. The rhythm there. Back into the D7, the F. I think this time the D does appear there in that chord. In both chords, in fact. Now this fill here is these 2 bars are slightly different from the first time. Remember the first time riff was. This time it's. Alright, I'm going to put a metronome on here so you can hear how those notes fall relative to the beat. Okay, I've got it at 80 there, fairly slow. So leading into that on the D7 here. Okay, that's the rhythm of it. So let me try and play you through that whole 12. I won't do it quite at his speed. Let's take it slightly more relaxed. Okay, something like that. Right. Now the accompaniment to the verse, this is of course much the same, except he does go to the D minor in bar 2 each time. So to start with, we're the same. And the D minor. That's the A. Pretty much the same as that intro. There is a slight hint sometimes that he's, when he gets the D minor chord, approaching those 2 strings like that. But it's a very quick and pretty negligible really. I mean, you can obviously do it if you if you feel you want to do that. Now this time when he goes to E, he puts a little bit of a vibrato on that C there. Lots of syncopation here. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Okay, so there's a second verse after that. At the end of verse 2, there's this slightly different turnaround here, and I think he's actually playing octaves here. So he's getting already the octaves here. We've got two E's here, E here and here, and an A on the second. Sorry, on the third and first strings. Then we come down to the two G's, back to the E's. This time sliding down to 3, open 5th string, and back up on 2 fingers or 1 finger. Okay, from fret 1 to fret 2 on those 2 strings, and then so that rhythm there of that bar. Let me put metronome on again. Okay, so that's 90 now. So here's the beat. And from the that last A, it's like this. Can we do it again? 3, 4. Okay, that's the ending of verse 2, and that leads into the first solo. Now, lots of syncopation here. Again, I'll take you through each bar one by one and steadily link them together here. Lots of interesting stuff going on. So beat 1, there's 1 and 2 and. Now this time he's got the open 3rd string in there. So it's not a bar like that this time. 2 different fingers. We're just sliding up the same 2 strings. And then the top 3 again on the offbeat. Let's do it with a metronome. Okay, now we're into the D7 chord, and you'll see there's a 3/4 bar. He's dropped a beat on these 2 bars on the D7, but we're starting with this standard thumb over the 6 D7, and this little arpeggio here. Remember, it's the same as what he played before when he was up here. But now he's beginning, at least down here, still dropping this this note on the 3rd beat. So it's 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3. But now he's sliding up to get to this other shape. Up 6th string to 5th fret. So now you've got a full D7 shape here, A in the bass, D, F sharp and C. Alright. And then he's coming back with the index to get the little and then we're going to go into a bar on the A7 in a second, but just take you through those 2 bars. So it's 7 beats here, and I'll do it with a metronome. I think I'll take it back to 80 because it's a little bit tricky, this one. Let's just be clear where the beats are falling here. All right, that's taking you through to that sustained note at the end of that 6th bar. Right, now we're into this. So we're still here. Into this thing. So this is an implied A, of course. But little finger here, index on the second string, and the open first string. So joining that 6th bar to the 7th bar, coming out of the D7 back to the A. Now, then we're into some octaves on the E chord after that. So that A bar, after this, so again, let's have the metronome on that that bar there. Again, like that. Now these octaves, I think on the original recording he would have done this just on single strings on the 12th string, not the octaves I've shown there. The issue here is you hear this bass string coming in on that last A. You actually hear that high A there. I really don't think that he would have been doing that. It's possible, but for the next chord is this standard D7 over F sharp. So that's extremely unlikely. So I think the high A you hear there is that one on the 3rd string. Coming in with the thumb here. So I'll go over those octaves there when I get to the 6th string version, because that's when you will need them if you want that sound. You still can't really do this top one, but at least you can get the rest of it. Okay. Now, bar 10 of the 12. So it's going from the half a bar of the D7 into an E7 just on the last half of the bar there. In fact, only ready for one beat. And back to A. So that is now octaves. Again, those are easy enough on the 12 string. But then you can, if you want, in this case, add the upper octave without too much trouble. Those little octave passages are worth practicing, I think, anyway, if you want to, approach this typical thing that Bert would do on a 6th string. So there's various ways of getting those octave notes. You can have open strings, where there's the 5th frets there. And here. But it kind of feels better under the fingers to have the 2 strings apart each time. And then obviously the E7 chord on the end there. Right, now the second solo. And this is very similar to the first one. It's almost exactly the same thing. So he definitely designed this solo. He planned it out, composed it. It's not improvised. Which is not to say he doesn't play it slightly differently. There's a couple of extra notes in there, I think, somewhere. So let's have a look. Yeah, this time he's putting that last chord in there on the beat 3. Remember the first solo, he just held that chord. This time that first fret note I'll put there on the 5th string, you do kind of hear that. quite sure what's happening there. You could be doing something like that, but you really have to come in, I think, with the thumb on that F sharp. The rest of it doesn't really work too well with the finger on that bass note. Obviously Bert could have done that, but that's a much more intuitive shape, I think, for the D7 chord in all these cases. So going through those first 4 bars into the D7. Again, slightly different rhythm on that 4th bar there. If you want it with a metronome, let's have it on 90. Something like that. Right, now the D, there's a little kind of suggestion of a pull-off hammer-on the 3rd string. Again, that 4th fret note lands on beat 3, and there's a tap on the body of the guitar there, which could be his thumb pick hitting it, like that, or some twang of the, a damped twang of the bass string there. There's a heavy percussive tap on beat 4. And then the next bar is a really weird one. I'll take it really slow, put the metronome on for this. I'll take it down to 80 for this. This is a bar I think you can take or leave this one. Just trying to work out what he might have done here. Essentially what he's doing is he's going from a D7 to a kind of passing F. Sorry, passing G. So he's putting this G bass before coming back to the F sharp, then the F, and then back to the A in the next bar. So just that bar on its own. Something like that. So if I can take it a bit faster. It's that kind of a thing. So those 2 bars that would normally be the D7 the whole way through, he's playing them something like this. Only a lot better than that. Okay. Alright, so we're back to the A chord, and again he's putting this little turnaround lick at this point in the tune now, a bit early. And you can let that 3rd string ring as you're doing this. Okay. And that slide up there. Short chord there. Again with the open, 3rd in between. E. Weird kind of something like that. Okay, so he's got his finger on this E for the the B for the E7 chord, and then he's kind of taking it down and bringing the thumb in like that. So it gets a rather strange sound at the end of that bar. This time on the F chord, it's a complete plain F triad, and there's that rhythm there. Again, those distinctive octaves there. That's the last 2 bars of that solo. So here it is with a metronome to show you that rhythm there. I'll go from the let's go from the last 4 bars of that that solo. Something like that. So another verse, and then at the end of that verse there's just this simple little blues scale ending. And an A minor chord. Sounds like an A minor he puts on the end. If you wanted something a little bit bluesier, you could have a 7 sharp 9. Yeah. But he just keeps it simple with that little, with an A minor. There we go. Okay, here is how that 67 arrangement will sound on 6th string. Bear in mind that I can't play it flawlessly all the way through myself, so you'll be seeing a lot of edits here. But I'll try and take it through in chunks. I'll start with the ad-lib intro, then the 12-bar instrumental verse, and then the 2 solo verses, and then the ending. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck.